Hey, how's it going, everyone? Today we are back with another monster video. It seemed a lot of people enjoyed the Cthulhu one, so I thought, why not take a little bit of another dive into that kind of area, because that was quite enjoyable and it's quite nice to do something other than Jurassic. So I stumbled across this guy. I say I stumbled across him. I see his videos recommended, Moon Prod, and yeah, it took my interest because Creatures of the Fog. What I was talking about in the last one in terms of how um, one of my biggest phobias or fears is of crustaceans, and I mentioned the fog, them sort of weird underwater slash landy animal crustacean crabby things from that film just freaked me out. So I thought, why not have a look and see what we get from this one, because Creatures of the Fog definitely sounds interesting. But we're going to go for a double build today, because I couldn't decide which one of his videos to choose from. We've got Creatures of the Fog and then Creatures of the End Time. So I thought, this one's only 3 minutes and the other one's like a minute, so we'll have a double bill. So it should be interesting. So this was made in 2020. I guess the guy had a lot of time on his hands during that summer, and the other one come out like a couple of months after. So we'll dive right into it. Looks quite cool. There's no kind of a foggy morning inspired me. The description, stick to the end for a little surprise. A foggy morning inspired me to go out and shoot the sequel to my previous video, CGI and Blender. Oh, so he has a previous video. So, but let's watch this one. Let's dive straight into it. It's very reminiscent of where I live, especially when it's foggy. And I always reel off the... Oh, that's that. Yeah, I always reel off the "there's something in the mist" whenever we go outside with my kids or my wife. Is that something on the left? Or is it just the tree line in the distance? This thing sort of there, behind the light. Oh no, I think it's just trees. The birds, the birds. Oh, we're starting to hear something. Something scared the birds. Possibly other than him. Oh, shoot. Yeah, tracking's a little bit funky, but, it's all good. What is that? Is it just like a flying worm with tassels? Imagine seeing that, though, when you're out in the fog. Fuck that. Where would you hide if you're in the middle of a field as well? Is there something else in the distance, or is that just a cloud? I'm guessing he shot this on his phone. This is back when iPhones and whatnot had very minimal, if any. Oh, look at that! Stabilization. What is that? It's like some weird growth on the side of the. Looks like a lighthouse on land. Moonprod, yeah. I wonder where he's based, because this doesn't look like England and doesn't look like the States either. The roads look too nice to be the UK, especially out in the countryside, and they look too thin to be the States. God, motion sickness central here. Is this a little surprise? Can we get rid of these? No, there was no surprise at the end. Okay, I'm not sure what the surprise was at the end. The fog looked way more ominous than the actual creature itself. The fog looks amazing, didn't it? Gives it, yeah. Okay, well, it is what it is, but let's watch this one. Creatures of End Time. You obviously had a few more. I'm taken by his Serber, Christian Serber, if I'm pronouncing that right. Obviously had a few more months to improve upon his skills. So let's see if that is the case in this one. What was quite funny is there's a film. This reminds me of because this was the thumbnail. It's called, what was it called? Altitude, or so it might be Altitude. And it's like that era of like 2009, 2010, 2011, and I think I've talked about this before, where there was like a little era of low budget horror films which were like really cool. It was sort of following like, or was it following, or it was around that time? Yeah, because it was 2010 that Gareth Edwards did that film Monsters, where he basically shot it himself and did all the special effects himself. It was really around that time that these sort of like passable visual effects were sort of coming like more common amongst the mere mortals like us, and so a lot of low budget horror films were getting like semi decent effects. And there's this film called Altitude where like the college students in America, they one of them's a dad's a pilot, so she's a pilot as well, and she finally gets her license, so they go on a little like light aircraft, and while they're in the sky it's just weird, and then there's like the weather's shit, and then there's just like these weird like octopus tentacles like all around them in the sky, and it's actually really good. It sounds hokey as shit, but look it up, and I hope it's called Altitude. But this just reminded me of that. This Altitude movie. I hope this is right. I don't think that is right. What is the name of that movie? Oh, it is Altitude. There's more than one. Yeah, this is the film. 2010. Yeah, definitely give it a check out if you've got like a like an hour and a half to spare one day. I think it's on like Amazon or something like that. So, or what's the other one? Shudder. Yeah. So definitely worth checking that out. And it's an interesting film. What's the one we're watching? Oh, Creatures of End Time. Let's get into that one. This might actually just be a tornado forming.
There is nothing left on this earth for us.
Oh, definitely the mist inspired. At least we can see the creature in this film, or this short video.
This is the end.
Yeah, you'd think. It'd be interesting to see sort of like in the last 4 or 5 years. Now that's like a like vaporized effect, like a nuclear shadow, I think they're called.
So scary.
Yeah, it's probably
They're here.
would have been a little bit better without the voiceover. Yeah, I think the first video was a little bit better than that. Let's jump on his channel, see what it's got. Anything recently on here. Creatures of Madness. Has been doing stuff recently, so he had I'm assuming that he's definitely upped his production game. And by the looks of this looks better than what we just watched. So, I'll give him a little sub, and maybe we'll come back to some of his video another time. But yeah, well, it was definitely different to the Cthulhu one. Something a little different, I suppose. Hope you enjoyed it. Give us a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.